Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. This is a deep analysis where we're gonna dive deeper, of course, in Bitcoin in the all-time history till the 1 hour chart, 15-minute chart as well to see what's gonna happen today. And basically on the all-time history, we are looking at a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finished impulse toward the upside in a wave 1 or a wave A. After both case scenario, you are looking at an A, B, and a C finished wave 2 or a wave B. In this case scenario, you see, of course, continuation toward the upside impulsively, which it was, of course, our latest bull run where we have topped for a wave 1 here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. After this case scenario, you are looking, of course, for continuation for this bull trend towards the upside, of course, where you are looking for a wave 3 or for a wave C in, of course, A, B, and a C, or 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. And in this case scenario, you are looking, of course, for a wave 1 of a wave 3, which it is, of course, finished right now, the wave 1, and you're looking at the wave 2 to unfold a wave 3 toward the upside, wave 3 over 3, right? So this is the most impulsive and explosive wave that we must have, of course, in this scenario. And that means that your wave 2 might be very shallow this time, and this is what Bitcoin tends to do, of course. When you are in a wave 3 over 3, the wave 2 is very shallow. Normally, it can even not reach the 0.38 on a logarithmic chart, of course, for Bitcoin, where you might see, of course, the price action between those two fib levels and inside, of course, this blue box, plus, of course, with the support, strong technical support that we have from the previous wave 4. And that means that your wave 2 might be an A, B, C hitting in the heart of this blue box here, and then moving, of course, in the wave 3 toward the upside, a 4 and a 5, to potentially finish a wave 3 or a wave C. And then, of course, in case we are still looking for higher, we might see a wave 4 and a 5, of course, for the next bull run, I would say. This will be a totally new bull run. Now, let's take at the bearish scenario in the all-time history. So, of course, always we think in both case scenarios. What if we have, of course, an impulse finished here for a wave A, you'll look at a wave B, and this is your 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finished wave C in the magenta, meaning A, B, and a C, and you're looking for 3 corrective waves, very deep 3 corrective wave, coming back, of course, around the 0.5 fib level at least, which it might be here, of course, your less than 50. I mean, I think the 30,000, 41,000, for example. That is, of course, a possible scenario, and it can be even lower to the 0.618 as well, which is around the 30K, of course, for this scenario. The 0.618 is a most common target as well for a wave B. In case you are, of course, in a finished wave C here, meaning finished wave A, you're looking for a wave B and then looking for higher. This can bring, of course, this scenario can bring the price even for lower around the 32K until, of course, we start a new bull run toward the upside. So let's move inside the daily to see, of course, what are the potential still to have higher prices related to this bull run, of course, the previous one. Because, of course, if we see higher prices taking the all-time high, meaning this leg will be related definitely, of course, to this bull run. On the daily, starting for the bullish scenario that we might still have, of course, unfolding for one more additional leg toward the upside, where you have, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, the question is, did we finish this wave 5 exactly here, or are we still looking for additional wave 5? And that because, of course, of the triple 1-2s that you have here, 1, 2, 1, 2, you finish a double 4-5 and not a triple 4-5. So basically, the triple 4-5, it can be, of course, a very deep in price and, of course, moving towards the upside still. However, the possibility are very far that because we have passed the time 5 times, of course, of the wave 2, here taken in comparison for the timing between the 4 and the wave 2. Second thing, as alternation based on Elliott wave, you have a very deep wave 4 while you have also very deep wave 2. And that of course lower the possibility in terms of alternation for Elliott wave theory. And finally, I would say that even this wave 5, if it's gonna unfold, it is not possible again to break those channels after of course already finishing a wave 5 in the acceleration channel and breaking out of course and getting back to the base channel here. And of course to move up again you need of course to break the base channel, to range in between here, and to be able to break of course the acceleration channel to hit in the middle of course here. And yeah, this will bring us to 170,000 almost for Bitcoin, which is a little bit so far possibility here for Bitcoin. Let's of course be honest here, it's not that easy of course to get this high for Bitcoin right now. After all this move towards the upside, you need a reasonable correction before you start to move towards the upside. Therefore, this possibility of course is getting lower and lower because of all the reasons that I just mentioned. Right now it is of course a very far possibility. The highest possibility is that you have finished of course a bull run, a wave 1, as we saw of course on the all-time history. Wave 1 finished, all this bull run is representing your wave 1. You are looking for a wave 2 and then moving to the upside. Meaning right now this wave 2 might be unfolding in several possibilities. The first possibility is where you have bottomed a wave A potentially here with the yellow scenario, meaning the major wave A can be finished over there after having an A and a B and a C toward the downside. This is a major wave A, we're looking for a wave B, and therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toward the downside as a wave C to finish exactly at least in the minimum requirement time for a wave 2. Another possibility can be that your wave A has finished of course in this area, and in this case I would bring the major wave A here, that it is done and finished, because the time of a wave A looks very reasonable in regarding the time required for a wave 2. And that means of course the wave A can be finished over there, but the wave B is still gonna range of course somehow here. It can be of course in several shapes. It can be triangle, it can be a flat, or it can be even a zigzag toward the upside and then moving down of course after an expanding flat for a wave C towards the downside again to the blue box, where you would like to hit this bear market of course as a wave 2. And this possibility of course bring also that the wave B might take more time than just a very fast wave B. Therefore the highest possibility here that this wave B belongs to the yellow scenario after having of course an A and a B and potential wave C toward the downside. If we take a look at the 2 hours chart here, of course we are looking right now at the possibilities that I just mentioned, but of course in the 2 hours chart, and what are of course the possibilities affecting this with the price action, current price action. So basically this is what I was explaining right now, where you might have of course in the yellow A, B and a C to finish a wave A, a major wave A for this bear market. Currently you are in W, X and a Y for this wave B. And this wave B of course is 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up again, finished in the top here. And of course with the time required, as you can see, taken from the wave A here. If you have a wave A, basically you would like to see the time of course taken. Actually I think I need to adjust the time here to this one. Yeah, perfectly with the time exactly after the perfect timing at 1-to-1 fib level here. So that would be a perfect timing for a wave B, hitting also the 0.618 and then start of course the move towards the downside to finish a major wave A. So basically this is the most highest potential scenario right now, of course, but there is a scenario which is coming before it, where you might have of course a shorter wave towards the downside rather than thinking directly of course with a massive wave C. And this basically, of course, finishes the wave A exactly at this low. Rather than this one, it finishes, of course, at this low. And you are looking here at 3 waves up, potentially 3 waves down, 5 waves up again, or even 3 waves up for W, X, and a Y to finish, of course, a wave B. Don't forget as well that this wave B can be anything. It can be a triangle and then a wave C to finish and then moving toward the downside. So basically in this area we're gonna see all the types possibility for flat, for a zigzag, for a triangle. W, X, and a Y can be also very potential in this area. Unless of course we move directly for a very deep wave A. And this scenario, it comes of course in first possibility, I would say, after this one that we saw, of course, a very deep wave A. And of course, the last scenario is that your wave B is not finished yet and you're still looking for higher, which is a very bullish scenario. Of course, it would be nice for the bulls to be happy. And of course, finishing a wave A here and you're looking for something like an impulse toward the upside, you would like to see a correction. And then, of course, another impulse for wave B to hit, of course, this expanding flat in the blue zone between those targets, of course, taken from the wave A, meaning an A, B, and a C, of course, as an expanding flat might be unfolding. However, for this scenario to be realized, first thing what you need to do, of course, is to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, which is not really looking good for this scenario. You would like to see first a wave 3 longer than this one. Your wave 5 is not really finished, so for a at least short wave 3, in case you have a short wave 3, 4, and a 5, and then ABC, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you need here first on the lower time frame to finish a very good wave 5 first before thinking about it. And second, of course, because we don't have a wave 2 here, it is a triangle, meaning much higher possibility it is a wave B for an A, B, and a C. Last reason is you don't have any kind of impulse wave here. You have, of course, a 1, a 2. Potentially, the wave 2 has took the 886, meaning there is, yeah, very low possibility that this is an impulse, plus your wave 1 is 3 waves and not 5 waves impulsive. And then when you think, of course, in a leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, you see that the wave 3 is longer than the wave 1, meaning a broke up for all kind of the rules, of course, for an impulse. And that means, of course, this wave is corrective and not impulsive. Now, if we dive deeper inside it to see, of course, what is going on in this area. So basically, what we are looking as a highest possibility here is a potential finished correction as A, B, and a C, or W, X, and a Y, which is, of course, this scenario. And we are looking right now for a wave C toward the downside, or a longer wave B, meaning we are looking a longer wave B in time. So 3 waves down, of course, and then potentially 3 waves up, and then, of course, moving down for a major 3 waves. And then moving, of course, up for the timing of this wave 2. Wave B. Yeah, so, and basically, of course, we are looking, for a potential move towards the downside. This is the minimum potential scenario that we might have. Otherwise, we move very fast, of course, for a wave C for lower. Now, if you are still bullish and you're still looking for this one more leg toward the upside to hit the 1-to-1 fib level, well, you have broken here, of course, this impulse. In case you are an impulse, the wave 4 has invalidated this impulse, meaning it has turned, of course, into 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An expanding flat wave C might unfold here, of course, in this case, and you're looking for the following prices first. And that means, of course, it is potentially a longer wave 4 before you start moving toward the upside again for a wave 5, which it might hit only the 1-to-1 fib level. However, the risk of this scenario to move for one more small tiny leg toward the upside of course, is very risky because you might, of course, face a finished W, X, and a Y here. In this case scenario, a W, X, and a Y as well. And don't forget that also the volume is one of the most important signals for the chart. Always you have a very high amount of volume on a finished top corrective wave, and that might be, of course, a signal that you might have topped here, or you might have, of course, a deep correction first and then moving toward the upside. So basically, this is what I'm still looking at as an answer first. What is this? Is it gonna be a correction and moving toward the upside, or we are going to break those level and move toward the downside straightforward, of course, for a wave C or for a longer wave B in time. Yep, so these are the updates and the deep analysis for Bitcoin. We're gonna watch what's gonna happen and trade safe. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.